4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 146, despite what I put in the title of this stream earlier. Episode 146 of the podcast. I am Dan.
Dan is tired.
I am tired, and APL Fisher is dead in a field.
So I guess you have won this one.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's been dead in a field, so there is that. The date. Yes, Barkley beat Cool Times. Cool your jets,
They're already
bro.
asking for it.
June 22nd, 2014 here. The post E3 podcast.
Every podcast from here forth will just be post E3.
And I'll just add a post.
E3 wrap-ups and commentary.
But when it's completely
your
not
predictions.
relevant at all in like September, like nobody cares anymore. But I have with me Mark, AllShamNoWow.
Yes.
Hello, sir. I have Mark, Nikonpunch.
Yeah.
I have Brandon,
The disappointed father.
and I have John. I think. I don't know though.
We
don't
have
know.
essence of John.
Yeah, we've ode to John. In
We have
this
his presence.
It's here somewhere, lost in the ether.
We have John occasionally types reactions to me while he attempts to stay connected to Skype. That's what we have.
Blah is in his new digs in San Francisco, but internetless at the moment. Comcast, surprise,
Fucking 'em.
surprise, has
Fucking
fucked
'em
him
hard.
over.
This podcast brought to you by Comcast.
Comcast taking out 2 members of the cast this week.
Yeah. EDC taking out 2 members. Comcast taking out 2 members. Does anyone know if these companies connect in any way? Can someone make a tinfoil hat chart for me so we can figure out if they also provide missiles to Syria or something? Because this is probably the case. So we are down to 4.5
Which is
people.
fine, man. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's
What
not
are
a
you
bad
saying
number.
about me, Dan?
Listen. Listen, I didn't even wake up for this podcast. So
Nobody cares anymore. We all know that. I mean, 146 episodes. Who's going to want to get up every Sunday and keep doing this?
I don't
Yeah.
want to
Takes
get
a
up
lot
anymore.
of motivation.
But we apparently played video games this week. Also, the Steam sales were this week, so we'll talk a little about them. Mark,
Is the podcast sponsored by a certain company?
yes, it's
that's
sponsored
also-
by Blech Microphones. You can follow them on Twitter at Blue Microphones. I'm using a Yeti Pro here. It's quite nice. In the new shock mount, which is a shock mount.
It's a shocker.
It's a real shocker. I also have a blue pop filter.
That's
So there
actually
you
really
go.
nice.
Yeah,
I
it
use
is
that
actually quite
mic at
nice.
work, and that pop filter's quite nice. I want one.
So yeah, and it's not pronounced bleh microphones. It's blue.
Bleh.
For those that don't know.
I like that you had to clarify that. That
Well, maybe
you were
they think it's an
concerned.
off-brand.
You were concerned that
BLEU
someone wasn't going to
microphones.
know.
They're going to listen to the podcast and like, nope, they're dropped.
It'd be a good April Fool's Day joke for them.
It
Just,
would.
like, redo their entire site with the wrong spelling.
Blue cheese microphones.
Hmm.
Mark, AllShamNoWow.
What's up?
What video games have you been playing / buying?
Have I been playing?
week?
Well, I've been playing a lot of Fistful of Frags. I've got, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 15 hours in the past week or so.
Full of frags.
Been playing a lot of it. It's super fun. Like, if anybody hasn't tried it, it's completely free. Not free to play, just free. It was a mod for, I believe, Half-Life 2, but they made a standalone for Steam. It's very fun. It's not completely easy. It's actually pretty difficult to
It's
play
hard.
when it comes to aiming, because you can't, constantly move around and shoot. You have to slow yourself down, either to using a walk button or
Oh, it's a Western.
shifting.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
pretty
You just
boss.
have like several teams, and you can. At the moment, it's only limited to having a death match or a team death match. I think the mod has several other game modes, but they're, I guess, refining them and redoing them for the standalone version, so it's slowly coming out. But I mean, if it's free, you can't really complain, because nothing lost for you if you don't like playing it. So
Right.
That's a good one. I've been playing a little bit of TF2 since the update and getting a couple of weapons, and haven't really tried them out. I bought all of them, but I mostly just stuck with having my usual loadout with the mutated milk that I got, which is pretty nice. I like some of the mutated items that they have with the whole bread box
How
thing.
awesome. I don't know if anyone here didn't watch the short, but if you didn't, go watch the short movie.
I actually didn't. Yeah,
oh
I
my
need
God,
to go
it
and
is
watch it.
I have it
hysterical.
queued up to watch.
It is so funny. Valve outdid themselves this time. I think it's about 15 minutes long. Super good. Obviously done in Source Filmmaker.
It's a long fucking time for a short.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I was actually hoping, I don't play this game, frankly, so like I didn't know exactly what was going into it. I did watch the short. I was hoping Blah was going to be here because obviously he plays a good chunk of TF2. But yeah, they also did a bunch of fixes in this update, which they had touted. Actually,
Yeah, I actually didn't look up what the fixes were. I more so was just getting in there
fixes, that were done to older maps. I mean, not anything new, but
There's a few weapon ones too.
yeah. And for those that haven't seen it, they find that teleporting, the basic gist is teleporting is starting to put like cancerous stuff inside items, but so like the bread mutates and stuff, and then you can get toast celebrations in the game and all kinds of stuff. Like, of course, it's all crazy like TF2 is wont to be. I know we had a community night on Thursday. Looked pretty damn fun. So if you haven't checked out TF2 in a while, or you used to play it and stopped, there is new stuff for you now. And new items, of course, which is the only reason people play that game.
I mean, especially like the weapons are pretty. I wouldn't say that there's something that you would use all the time, especially something like the sniper rifle, which is a throwback to the one from TF Classic. That is a weird one to use in TF2, one where you it can charge in and out of scope, but to charge the rifle, you have to hold down the shoot button, and then it charges, and you move at the speed that you would if you were scoped in, and then you let go of fire to fire the weapon. So you can shoot in and out of scope, but you have to constantly hold down the fire button if you want to charge up, and if you don't fully charge, you can't headshot. So it's definitely just 100% reskin of the one from TF Classic just put into this. I watched some gameplay of it. I mean, it looks like it could be very useful, considering you can charge out of scope and be able to see everything around you, but you do move really, really slowly. So I don't know. I guess that's just up to the person playing. I still like to stick with stock almost 99% of the time with any class. I mean, I see a lot of comments all over the place where people were like, with all of these weapons and whatnot, this game is just like muddied down. It's like nobody fucking plays with them though. Like everybody swears by stock shit. Everybody does. Anybody who takes the game seriously swears by stock weapons. I think like on my Scout, the only thing that I don't use that isn't stock is the pistol. I use Mad Milk instead so I can stop myself from getting caught by pyros all the time. But that's the only thing. I use the scatter gun almost 100% of the time. Sniper, use the stock sniper with that. Soldier, use the rocket launcher. I can't think of one where I use any of the added weapons.
I don't use the stop sniper rifle. I use the one that gives you benefits, except for when you body shop. If you body shop, it doesn't give you as much damage or something, but you don't want to hit them in the body anyway. So yeah, that's the only exception for me. Everything else. Yeah,
like the Machina is the one that people is probably the best alternative to the stock sniper rifle. That's what people use all the time is the Machina.
For the collaterals.
People can so,
yeah,
there you go.
I always played on servers that were servers that John played on, so they were always ultra competitive. So you would see a few of the items. I mean, it wasn't like competitive rule list, but it was people playing to win, not really to collect hats. So like you did not see that much of the stuff. You'd see like Girardi and like sometimes they would use the thing that protects the sniper's back. I forget the name of the item.
It's called.
And almost every pyro should be using a different melee weapon though. You should be using like the mailbox or the extinguisher or something because it's actually just flat out better.
Anything that gives you like critical hit versus burning players and whatnot.
They did change the extinguisher. It will only do mini crits on burning targets if attacked from the front. So to get the big crits, you have to attack from the back.
I got you.
But I always use stock on the pyro. I played pyro and medic mostly, and I always found like medic, I pretty much use stock most of the time too.
My favorite thing was all of the taunts that they added, but it was so silly
And
last
you can
night.
taunt with your enemies too. That's the best part.
Last night I hopped onto a random Valve server just to see, because that's where the real shit goes down. Like, people do all the dumbest stuff on Valve servers, and people had gotten that conga line taunt, and that's all they were doing the entire game was activating that conga line taunt and going all the way across the map trying to get people to join them. It's so fucking stupid because you can line people up in that, and you can make a big conga line of people going around the map together as one. I bought myself the scout taunt. One of them is one where he pulls out a bucket of fried chicken, and he's just like, "Hey, got some chicken," and then he just tosses it to the ground. Like, it's so stupid. And I spent $5 on it for no fucking reason.
I'm pretty down with that.
Free to play will never work as a legitimate platform for games. They never make any money off of that.
No, man, it's terrible. You been playing anything else? Just tons of
I've been off and on with Wildstar. I've been trying to commit to it, but I'm playing so many games and trying to do other things that it's really hard for me to sit down for like a full day and commit to that game. I'm still in like level 24.
Yeah, you're higher than me.
Oh yeah, what are you at?
22.
Mm-hmm. And I've been trying to focus on building up my architect trade skill, but that is fucking pissing me off with the crafting system. It is killing my soul just completely. I mean, I appreciate that they're trying to make it to where crafting is not something where I just want to make 1,000 of this and I press one button. Like, they want things to be more rare than that and to not just flood the market. So, they have the whole, you have to add additives to it and get it in 3 tries and be able to craft it. I had one where I was just making a lamppost because it was for one of the architect quests, and there was only one pattern that would work with it, and it was buying some capacitors. You had to buy 3. It's the only one that would work. I tried several. It was the only one that would line up, but it didn't work every time. It was random, and I failed like 10, and I lost so much gold going back to the fucking auction house for the trade skill goods and just buying shit over and over again. Even though I knew what the recipe was, it just never worked half the time. And that made me very frustrated. I was getting tired. I lost like 10 gold just trying to make some just lampposts of all fucking things. It had to be lampposts. It couldn't be anything that was worthwhile. Like, it was just to finish the quest. I had gotten 4 out of 5, and I was just trying my best to get that 5th one, and it took like 5 or 6 attempts. I just lost so much money for no fucking reason. Like, I'm not going to make it back. I can't sell back those lampposts. Nobody wants them. So that's just one of those things. But I mean, it's good in some places. It's not in others, especially in a situation like that. But I'm really trying to get to where I can just finish leveling that guy up and try to build out a tank build, because the guild definitely needs tanks, and I'm a warrior, so might as well.
There's plenty of healers and plenty of classes that can heal.
Yeah, I
feel like once again,
pretty much every class has double roll, or possibly even more than that. Like even the rogue like class, the stalker, can tank. So like, everybody's got something else that they can do, which is nice that there's so much variety. But yeah, nobody's deciding to roll tank. It seems nobody wants to have that responsibility. Everybody wants to play damage. That's all they ever want to do in an MMO.
Yep. That's how
Which
it
is
always
why
goes.
you can never get
And actually,
queues.
at first, everyone wants to go damage because no one knows how to play yet, and so damage is the easiest.
They don't want to be the guy that gets blamed for shit going wrong.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
But yeah. Other than that, I played some Orion Dino Horde. That was fun. I just decided to hop out with a friend or two and just see what would happen. God, that game was just
flash sale for 90% off right now.
I mean, it's $1.
It's not
fun
free.
For $1.
To be honest, the game runs very well. I'll give them that. Their game runs
actually, like, I'm hard pressed to say that game is not worth $1.
It is.
Yeah.
I would say it's worth $1 to fuck around in, but they have just
I would
tons of
say,
microtransactions and bullshit in there. It's so stupid looking.
I would say that it is a better deal at $149 than Lost Planet 3 is at $12.49. Let's put it that way. And it is a much better deal than X Rebirth 2.0 at $24.99. One of the worst games released for PC by most accounts. PC Gamer had a whole article on how bad that game is.
Damn.
That was the whole article. It wasn't even like a review. It was just like, look, this thing does not fucking run. Like, it is just garbage. Like, don't do it. It's a fucking $50 game.
Yeah. I mean, if you buy Orion Dino Horde at $1, I can guarantee that you will have enough laughs at the stupidity of the animation quality and other things like that it'll probably be worth $1 to you. I mean, I've gotten 3.5 hours out of it. It says on Steam that I've played Dino Horde. Although, I mean, I got it because I got Orion Dino Beatdown. But I think you guys gave me a code, so I never paid for this game, which is a good thing for me. But yeah, I would say it's at least worth $1 just to fuck around with. It's not the worst thing that has ever been released. It's not, but it's pretty fucking bad.
But shit, it was 99 cents.
It was 99 cents.
We're quoting some thrift shop. In the
I gotta
chat.
buy it.
God damn it.
How
All
many
right.
games have I bought for under $1 because it was under $1? I'm like, yeah, it'll add 1 to the number of games I have. I'll never install it.
Yeah, you just want to have that Steam collection. Like I said, I've got over 400 games now, man. I'm getting up in the ranks.
That's actually a draw for me to buy games. Like, even if I know I probably won't play them, if they're under the $5 mark, I have to really think about, is it worth my X dollars, like, $2, $3, just to have the game for when I decide to play it maybe 10 years from now.
I mean, I'm buying Battle Block Theater right now. I don't know that I'll install it, but I'm buying it.
One of my favorite things to do during the Steam sales now with all the trading cards is once I get a card from voting, I sell it for like 30 cents. And then every now and then I get like $3-4 in my Steam wallet, and I just buy
that's what I do.
Feels nice.
I get shit games that way. I've gotten plenty of shit games just by throwing in trading cards.
Speaking of shit games, I streamed on Thursday night, and there was a hype train of people gifting me games just because they were awful, and it was pretty awesome. So shout outs to everyone. I got 30 games, and maybe 2 were legit, like, oh, that's a nice gift.
Yeah,
The rest of you...
I gave Dan Recovery Search and Rescue Simulator.
You did, and if you think I'm not playing that, you're fucking
one
crazy.
of the worst Sims I've ever played.
It looks terrible. It looks like there is actually a thing in the description that says acres to explore.
Yeah,
acres
that's
to
just
look
bullshit.
around and not have anything to do.
They threw a grass texture down for a couple of acres if you're into that.
Yeah, basically that is what is occurring here. The best thing I received though was I got the Call of Duty Ghosts weed skins pack.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Your reaction when you opened that was the best thing. I came in at the perfect time and saw that get gifted to you.
You should reinstall that and see if it's still garbage.
I also got
it is.
Bad Rats Barbie's Dream House Party.
Dude. Put that on the KBMOD
The secret
account.
of the horse one. The horse one.
I got gifted that one too. The Secret of the Magic Crystals, a horse game.
I got all those Pajama Sam and Freddy Fish 5 and shit like that. Thank God I didn't pay for any of these.
I'm surprised that I wish somebody would have splurged, and I think that there's a $100 pack for every one of those humongous games.
Yeah, it's
like
more than the
Putt,
games
Pajama
are if
Sam.
you buy them individually.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the best part.
Well, no, it's because there's more games that haven't actually been released on Steam yet, which is why it's that much. There's several that have not been put in the catalog that are still waiting to be released. I'm not sure why it's taking so long. I guess they're spanning it out so they can keep flooding the front page of Steam with their garbage every now and again. Just every couple of weeks. Okay, do it now. Just hit the button.
But have you bought any Steam sale games yet? Speaking of that.
I just bought the Skyrim pack because I needed the DLC.
I bought Cook Serve Delicious, and I bought
You'll never be as good as Blah. Just know that right now.
and I bought Tabletop Simulator. I'm looking at Battle Block Theater right now. I think that's probably something I might buy at $375. That's just almost too good to give up. And also Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is another one that I'm looking at.
I've heard only dead serious, only good things about Revengeance.
Yeah, same.
So.
But I also got the Humble Bundle for Summer Games Done Quick.
Yes,
Which is,
that looked really good.
It's an alternative way of donating to the charity that they're doing. And if you donate $25, then they'll give you a shit ton of games. And the only 2 that I already had were Guacamelee and Psychonauts. So I automatically just picked that up because I wanted to play Gunpoint and Dust Force specifically. and then
If you
getting
get,
the
if
other.
you get the soundtrack of that as well, just listen to the Dust Force soundtrack. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
I've got the Dust Force soundtrack. I already downloaded it. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But you also get the other Guyana Sisters game that was just released not too long ago. There's Bleed, Amnesia, Machine for Pigs, which I don't care about. There's the Basement Collection, which is
Yes, Basement Collection's
Ed,
sick.
what's his name? Ed McMillan. Yeah,
Yes.
it's just a bunch of his
Maker
games.
of Isaac, for those that don't know.
Yep. Electronic Superjoy's in there as well. Some game called No Do Love 2 Devolution. I don't know. Just a bunch of 2D either platformers or just games that are 2D side-scrolling type of things.
Yeah, is
But
this?
there's some really good ones in there.
I
Like, if
believe
you
the
have
C
not-
Word is in the Basement Collection as well, which is a game where you just try to penetrate a vagina.
This one in the Basement Collection,
Not
you have
kidding.
Ether, Timefuck, Spewer, Meat Boy, the Super Meat Boy prototype, Gray Matter, Coil, and Triachnid.
Oh,
So those are
C
the
Word's
games that
not
are
in
that.
there. Okay.
Yeah, C-word's not in it. Yeah, I mean, even if you don't have Guacamelee and Psychonauts and Dust Force and Gunpoint, like, yeah, this is definitely worth $25, and it's all going to charity. That's all it goes to. It's 100% charity donation. It doesn't go to either Humble or the developers.
And
You
So I
have a
mean,
link
it's
to
just
that?
an alternative way of donating. Oh, a link to it?
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah, because it's actually not on the front page for some reason.
of Humble Bundle. But by the way, if you are watching this podcast and you don't know what Summer Games Done Quick is, we tweeted it out on the KBMOD account earlier. You should be hitting up Multistream and watching both so you can support those dudes over there as they raise obscene amounts of money for charity, as they do every time.
Yep.
And also play games at an extremely high skill and speed level. The dude playing Donkey Kong Country earlier fucking blew my mind. I was just
Yeah, they
they
always have a great setup, and I like it whenever they have the speedrunner and they also have another guy that sits with them that also knows just as much
Explains.
about the game and can
Yeah.
help explain while the other person is maybe focusing on an area. Like that is the right way to do it. My favorite one from the last one was when a guy named Mr. Monopoly did Halo 2, and they were explaining a bunch of stuff. Like that Halo 2 run was fucking amazing to watch.
Yeah.
There's some really good stuff in there. I mean, they've obviously got the schedule. If you want to see if there's any games that you're interested in, that's on their website. There's a shit ton.
Breaking news. I've just been gifted Duke Nukem Forever.
God
damn it.
I have had that one since Summer Sale 2012, and I've never installed it, and I don't fucking plan on it either. Like that's just one of those games that I cannot bring myself to play.
Saint
Out of
Jimmy-
all the terrible games that I've
St.
played.
Jimmy has now gifted me Colonial Marines and Duke Nukem.
Or I bought that game when it was like $1. Just because I knew that game was going to be terrible. I should.
Yeah, I got it in a 2K pack, so it was just like just an add-on. It wouldn't have been a purchase for me if it had been deliberate. I would have never gotten it otherwise.
Yeah.
Just awful.
All
You can
right.
get the Humble Bundle for audio listeners at humblebundle.com/SGDQ.
Yeah, it'll still be very much going on when this goes up on audio. So
Yeah, I just bought it.
Nikon, other mark, double marks today. What have you been playing this week, sir?
Playing a lot of CS:GO. I'm on that comp grind trying to not be terrible. And play
It's
a
a
little
long
bit-
road.
Yeah. It's fun though. Like I play casuals and it's fun, but I just get really mad at people making stupid plays. Like I literally saw my entire team walk past a bomb that was beeping after they killed all the terrorists, went to the other site, and then we lost. And it's a casual game and I shouldn't care, but it just makes me mad. And it's like, damn it, I don't want to lose. But I played Smite, played some Watch Dogs, had to play it on low if I'm streaming because that game runs like garbage, even with like some mods. But
Did you mod it?
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
I
don't know
modded
if
it.
if
It looks
worked or
quite
not.
nice.
It
but
does
it
look nice. It just
Makes my PC take off.
yeah. But basically that's it. I played a few other little games, but not for very long. I did play what was the game you were talking about? The free one. What's it?
Fistful of Frags.
Yeah, I played that a little bit. That game is actually really hard.
It is.
It's harder to shoot people in that game than it is in CS:GO because you have
There's
to
a
like
lot of
come to a
variety to it.
stop and like wait, and then you shoot.
Yeah, I mean,
it took me a while to
the
figure
walk
that out.
button. The walk button is definitely something that you should utilize in that game, but it's defaulted to Alt, which people don't really press. I can't press Alt. I don't know how people fucking do it and play at the same time, so I have to switch it to Control.
It was fun though. It It was definitely fun, but that's all I really
And
touched.
only Skyrim from the sale so far.
Yeah, I literally just bought that as we went live.
I don't even know how you've gone this long without somehow picking up Skyrim, even by accident.
No,
it just seems like everybody
He
should
did.
own
He
that
got it
game.
for the DLC. He got it for the DLC.
But I got the pack because it had all the DLC for cheaper than buying it separately on the Steam sale. So, and actually, I didn't even buy it for me. I bought it for my wife because she's been playing it and she'll probably enjoy it. So,
All right. Brandon, what have you been up to this
Hello.
week? I know you went to Vegas.
I did. I happened to go to Vegas.
Looks like Vegas beat the shit out of you in a couple pictures that John put out there.
Yeah, well, what he didn't say is that it beat him up even more. But yeah, so I played some blackjack. That was not a video game, but it was a game I paid for. I paid very dearly for.
Yeah, how are those microtransactions? How's that model?
Microtransactions.
They've got it down to a
That's
T there.
somewhat of a misnomer because
Macro,
15,
I'm sorry,
15,
macro.
$15 to $25 per transaction is not exactly micro.
I was gonna say, what was your minimum bet for the table?
Most tables were like 15. We found some 10s like early morning, but mostly 15 and up. So yeah, that was fun. Other than that, I've just been playing Hearthstone. At some point I want to try and get legendary ranked in Hearthstone, but it's becoming harder and harder because more people are playing, and obviously more people want to get legendary. So just grinding, like I'm at rank 10, I think, grinding up to legendary, like I don't think I'd be able to do it. And there's like 10 days, well, maybe like 8 or 9 days of the legendary or the season left. So I've
Hey,
given
man,
up on that.
that's why you get a group together and you fudge the games, man. You just make people lose. You know, like old school PvP and WoW, where people were just giving each other high warlord. You gotta get legendary in Hearthstone the same way.
Well, see, they're smart though because you can't do that. When you lose a game, you lose that rank.
Exactly.
And,
you have to have a lot of people involved to pull that off.
Yeah, I guess basically you'd have to have people hit legendary and then just completely take a dive, lose every game from after that. So I've been playing Hearthstone, and then just Supraball. I'm still playing Supraball. I want them to.
I need to get into that.
I want them to like have money so that whoever's working on that can just like work full time on making that game better and iterating on it. I love Supraball.
I forgot I played that. You jumped into my game and I didn't realize you were on my team until later on. I was like, dang it, I was not playing seriously, and I just made Brandon really mad.
You're
probably.
a scumbag. I was in your Twitch chat and in your game, and you just weren't even giving me the time of day. It's disappointing.
Oh,
That's what you assume for me reading Twitch chat. I never read my chat.
breaking news. I've been gifted Takedown Red Saber, which
Oh,
may
no,
be
that's
the
a good
worst
one.
game ever made.
That's a fucking good one, man. Are
You
you
should
ready
watch
to
the
die?
Let's Play by AllShamNoWow. It's a good one.
You will not walk 5 feet without dying.
The message on it is, please enjoy game, me fave gam. Best Metacritic scorn I have ever seen. Thank
That
you,
was
Katie
that was a
Zen.
weird one where it looked kind of promising in its early stages when people were getting footage of it at like conventions and whatnot, and then it just shit the bed hard.
Yeah, it's
And it's not easy. And the AI is built to just completely fuck you over to where there's just no point in playing. You're going to die and you're going to fail your mission every time.
All right. Well, I guess I'm last here since we have half a John.
You can type it on chat.
I played Watch Dogs, and one thing I realized about Watch Dogs is that I have a ton of fun like evading the police in that game, and then that's it. Like everything
Have fun
else
getting the
sucks.
police on you in the first place.
Everything else sucks. But like it's like I don't know. It's just like a bland game.
Because, like, for the most part, they just took shit from their other games and they didn't do it
Pretty
right.
much.
You know,
Yep.
it's like the map discovery is fucking old. Nobody cares about that shit anymore. All it does is just pad out shit that doesn't even need to be in there in the first place because you're a hacker. You shouldn't have to go to some physical tower to unlock data through a wire. Like, you can't convince me of that.
But you hold your phone up to it and you take a picture of it. You're
And then-
scanning the QR code or something.
Yeah, man. And then the whole contrived thing of not being able to shoot while you're driving so they can just keep forcing the fucking hacking down your throat. Like, not being able to shoot while you drive just makes shit even more just ham-fisted and bland as fuck. I don't want to
Yeah.
press Q to get rid of people. It gets old. Let me shoot their tire out or something and make their car crash that way.
Well, like the
I don't wanna pull
best
up a
is
blocker.
Zero Punctuation did its thing on Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
And so much truth was spewed.
He sure
but,
did.
One thing that I went and I got the helicopter perk, to get
Yeah,
helicopters off
exactly.
you. You can never target a helicopter
You have to
during
get
the
out of the
chase
car.
when you need to hack it. It's like if I get this helicopter off me, I could evade so easily. I spent 3 talent points on this thing or whatever. I will never be able to use it. Why would I stop my car, just get hit by cops and die?
Well, and when you
that
get
doesn't
out
make
of the car,
any
it
Talents
damn
are
takes 4
sense.
useless in the
seconds.
first place.
God.
Pretty much all of those talents are useless. I think I only unlocked a couple of things just because it's like, oh, well, now I can unlock a bridge or something and be able to put it up and down. Like, that's what you put behind a fucking talent tree is basic things like being able to hack a bridge now. That's they take all these ideas and they do absolutely nothing to make them fleshed out at all. It's just it's like a prototype of itself is all it is.
I did use the mods. It does look way better with the mods
It
installed.
does.
I think my computer handles it well because I think this game was built so much for the PS4 in particular, and the new consoles, both of them, which have very large amounts of video RAM. And I think that's why my card handles it better than a lot of others, even ones that may be better. Because I have a 6 gigabyte card, and I do think that is giving me an advantage. It's 7970, so it's basically a 280X, which is a $300 card now. But
Yeah,
I
you've
think-
got a really good card. Like, it should be able to run this game on Ultra with no fucking problem.
And it does. But what's funny is the mod, which we'll get to talking about soon here.
Yeah.
The mod makes the game run better for me. It actually runs better
That's
and
all I've
looks
ever
better.
heard.
And
Is that
looks
it's
better.
either better or it's the same. Like, there's just no real performance hit at all that's making people drop any noticeable frames.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I've been playing a ton of Battlefield 4, a ton.
Do I
Getting
need
ready
to
for that
reinstall
hardline.
it?
I love it. It's such a good game.
Hey, man, have you pre-ordered Hardline, the digital deluxe edition?
And that's
Have
the
you
end of the
pre-ordered it?
podcast, guys. We'll see you next time. Hardline can go fuck itself.
$59.99.
God fucking damn it. But Battlefield 4 is a good game, all right? It's a good game. And it's
I wanna
mostly
play-
not
I'd love
broken
to play
now,
more of it.
to be
If
honest.
I saw any given night, if I saw the Battlefield 4 Mumble channel full of people, I would hop in and play. 'Cause
I still
love
have
playing with a
processor
full
issues.
squad.
Yeah,
I still can't get my processor load below 95% when I play it, and I can't find a fix, so I don't know. I can't play the game. It's
crazy.
weird.
But it's mostly all the issues for the EA just came out with an article this week. This isn't part of the news where they were basically the CEO is basically yeah, we fucked up real bad. Like they hadn't actually come out and fully EA hadn't. DICE had come out and been like, holy shit, we fucked up. But EA was basically like, yeah, we probably should have launched about now instead. But he would not fully own up to we put it out to compete with Call of Duty, we put it out, we forced it out to be there with Call of Duty. Battlefield 4 is a good game and it looks incredible, which I said this last week. You get back into that game, it looks better than pretty much anything out right now. It looks so good. And I've been playing. I have premium, so I've been playing with the full DLC on. Most of the DLC maps are pretty good. I don't like, again, and nobody I think likes the practice of redoing old maps, especially when Battlefield 3 was one iteration ago. I don't care for any of the Battlefield 3 maps that they redid for it, but I like China Rising. I like the Naval Strike a lot. Those are really good. But I mean, overall, it's a damn good game, and it's a shame that it's taken them 8 months to really put out what's even close to the finished product.
Well, I mean, even then, even if they had just committed to that and, fixed everything and, had a public apology saying, yeah, we fucked up, that's fine. Battlefield Hardline, that tells you exactly what they think of you. That tells you exactly what they think. They don't fucking care. All they want to do is just sell you more shit. They don't give a fuck. So you're not getting my money anymore. I'm done with you. I don't care.
I mean,
I'll play Battlefield Hardline to just use up your servers and cost you money. That's what I'll do.
Straight up, I will definitely get BF5. I'm not getting Hardline. Fuck that noise. But I'll definitely get BF5. Like I like BF4 enough that I'll get BF5 and probably get premium with it. Again, I don't like the idea of premium more than anybody else, but I'll get it.
Is it even playable without premium right now?
Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine, actually. The community nights, we had like 30 people in Mumble playing, and most of them did not have premium. Because most servers run the vanilla maps, because actually the vanilla maps are really good. That's the thing. Like, the vanilla maps are the best maps in the game. So, I mean, I really like BF4 a lot. I've played a bit of Wildstar. I just got this quest mod for Wildstar because I refuse to PvP. I just don't want to, even though that's the best way to level from pretty much anyone that I know that is 50. You should probably PvP a lot, but I got this quest mod, so I'm hoping that this quest mod speeds up the questing a little bit, because right now their quest pacing is pretty bad. Great game, bad quest pacing.
So is that the mod that I keep seeing everybody using?
Eighth Quest, AYTH is what it's called.
So what does it do? Because I thought that it was just an alternative way, at least from what I saw, to have things marked out on the
it
HUD
is,
for
but
you.
it puts like shit on the ground to follow.
Yeah.
But because Carbine, the developers, their markings for where stuff for quests are usually off by a lot. Oddly enough.
They are.
They're really off. So this tries to send you to the more accurate places and tries to chain together quests more quickly and efficiently for you. So,
especially when it comes to like specific mobs that you might need to kill, they do not mark it well. They give you like a general area.
They
give you a general area, and then you got to go searching.
I also did Walking Dead, or not Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us episode 4. Finally played that. Shit goes off the fucking rails in episode 4. It is awesome. It's super short, but it's awesome. So again, that was on sale. I think it's still on sale from yesterday, or maybe it is today. You should fucking buy it. Yeah, it's today, $8.49. It's definitely worth it. If you didn't like the tone of Walking Dead, or you don't care about the zombie stuff, get Wolf Among Us. It's a totally different tone for the Telltale type game.
Get it on sale for the iPad.
It's so good. It's such a good game. Bigby's an awesome character. But what else did I play this week? I played a lot of Isaac this week too.
I need to hop back on that.
Got back into that grind. I see Rebirth posts like every other week, and I get so hype.
Do we know when that's coming out? Do we have any idea?
End of 2014 is the rumor, but Ed is saying it's done when it's done.
Okay.
But there's so much footage out there of like mostly complete shit at this point that I would be surprised if it got delayed, especially for PC. Maybe the PS4 version will, but
is it going to be $5 like it was last time?
I would say it's probably more like 10 or 15, because it's basically the original game plus way more content, and then fixed so it's not in Flash, and then completely overhauled, and also has co-op. So
that sounds like at least 15, maybe 10.
Yeah,
I would pay $20 for it.
He doesn't do expensive though ever.
Yeah, so I mean, and 10 and 15 is a perfectly fine price point.
No, I agree, especially for a game I have 400 hours in. I think I paid $2 for.
How many do I have in binding? I have 154 on mine, and I paid $2.50 for both.
Yeah, there you fucking go.
Yep. So that, and as far as Steam sale stuff, I think I'm pretty much up with that. But I bought the Naruto game because it looks sweet.
Oh, you?
I don't care what anyone says. I also like Naruto.
Is that a fighting game or an action game?
It's
like
a Devil May Cry type thing.
Oh, okay.
And
because I was used to seeing, I think I was used to seeing the fighting games, but I looked at the screenshots for that one and I couldn't really tell if that's what it was.
Most of the fights are 1v1.
I got
But like there are a few where you fight hordes, but like it kind of, and it's super simple fighting, but you do need an Xbox controller from what I've been seeing. The game looks incredible actually too. It looks exactly like the anime, but in a good way. Like they do the animation really true to form, and game looks pretty good. The reviews are all really good. I debated a while before actually buying it, but a while being like an hour, I just sat there and was like, well, but it looks pretty good. So I bought that. It was like $8 or something. What else did I buy? I bought Wasteland 2. I'm hoping I can put the time in it to make it worth it.
Yeah, I'm still gonna wait.
Shadowrun Returns, you'll probably love Wasteland 2, and Shadowrun Returns is really good.
Yeah, that's something that somebody actually gifted to me. A friend
A lot
of mine
of
gifted me
story.
Shadowrun.
Shadowrun is a really good game to put on like a laptop if you're, sitting on the couch, because it's all turn-based combat, kind of like XCOM stuff. You take cover, and then you get your turn to shoot, and then they get their turn to shoot. Lots of story to read through. But I got Wasteland 2. I bought one other game I thought too, but I'm not sure that I did, because everything I bought I installed. That actually might have been all I bought, and I think I'm about done because I'm saving up for a PlayStation 4. So I think I'm about done.
Does anyone in the chat, has anyone played Rocksmith 2014?
I have heard it
better?
works pretty damn well.
I have heard really good things about it, like full written articles about people who've spent, however much time, like 6 months or something, and then writing up an article about how far they've come along. And I've heard nothing but good things about it getting your skill up.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's probably going to be more cost effective than going to get guitar lessons, which are fucking astronomical in price. When I was getting guitar lessons when I was a teenager, it was $20 for 30 minutes. So like, that's stupid. That's really expensive.
Yeah.
But my issue with the first one was the latency was just so bad it was unplayable if you used headphones.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping their latency issue with PC has gone down a bunch.
Well, yeah. That's also something that. Did they have any kind of calibration thing going on in the game?
Yeah, they do, but since they don't use the what is it, like ASIO stuff for audio like they do for recording programs, there's more delay than there should be.
I gotcha. Yeah.
And apparently they don't use that because they don't want people to hack it and make it easier to hack. I don't know. But the first one was unplayable.
I also bought,
almost bought the second one because it was on sale.
I bought Grid 2 and all the DLC because I wanted a racing game.
I see 1800 Wubs a lot saying Rocksmith doesn't work with some audio systems. I guess you would just have to look around and see what people have worked out, works with it or not.
Yeah.
But so I bought that, and that was about it. I think I'm about done too. I'm trying to I have 3 things on my wish list, but GTA 5 is obviously not going to go on sale. And then Arma 3 I think will go lower than it is. So I want that because I want to play the Battle Royale mode really badly. And then I have Wolfenstein on my wish list too, but I don't think that will go on sale given that it came out a month ago, basically. But I've heard so many good things about Wolfenstein that I threw it on
I've heard
there.
nothing but good things about it.
But yeah, I'm tempted to get Battle Block Theory here.
Get it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I've played the single player and it was fun, and I think the multiplayer is even better. So
that is about what I've been doing, and that makes that the end of the first section here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, guys, and we'll be right back in 2 minutes. If I can find my commercial button here. Here we go. Okay.
So Metal Gear Rising, is that just like any other Metal Gear that's always been out?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
No.
It's a hack and
Yeah.
slash.
It's a Devil May Cry style game.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's better then.
It's
one of
batshit
the best
insane,
ones.
just like all the Metal Gear games. I mean, it's
All right,
batshit
I'm buying
crazy.
it.
I've seen a lot of it, but I have not committed to buying it myself, but I've watched tons of footage of the game. It looks so good, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. If you want to see somebody who really knows what they're doing, play it. There's a guy named Chip Cheesem. I can link you to his Let's Play of the game if you want to see it.
Like, not that I want you to spoil the game, but just go try to find video of the last boss fight, and you'll be like, "Yep, I'm fucking sold. I'm fucking sold
There you
on
go.
this. It's completely insane."
Yeah, I need to find more fun games that I can stream that I can just not care about, but there's constantly stuff happening. Just more arcade shooters. Like, I wish Call of Duty was good because that's a good game to fire up. You don't care. You have fun. The match is over in 5 minutes. CSGO is...
Call of Duty 4 is still fun. I played that like
Yeah,
last
that's
week
true.
on a stream.
It is still fun.
good.
God damn.
You just got to find a server that doesn't have matches that last like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the downside to Battlefield, of course, is it's 20 to 30 minutes for a match. But that's why I like it. I did play some solo Battlefield outside of streams, and that still fucking sucks. As bad teams just get so shit on in that game. Like, ugh. Sean, calling out Folgers in chat. Folgers not as good as rotten wood water. Pretty much true.
I can confirm.
Yeah, for Folgers pretty garbage. Starbucks doesn't suck as much as it's not good, if that makes sense.
Starbucks is
No, listen,
exactly
if
what it
we're-
wants to be.
Let's
average
not
coffee.
even talk about Folgers and Starbucks in the same sentence.
Yeah, no,
If
he's
you're
right
saying,
about that.
If you're saying Starbucks sucks, like Folgers should not even be on your radar.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I would take Starbucks over just about anything if we're talking about even the chance of there being Folgers anywhere.
There's
Yeah.
so much shit coffee out there that's so much lower than Starbucks. It's hilarious. Like anything that you can find at a store, it's probably lower quality than Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
If I'm going to get
Yeah.
a black coffee, I'm going to drive through McDonald's because their coffee is $1 and it's actually really good.
When people say that they don't like Starbucks, I'm like, where are you going for coffee that you're able to say Starbucks is bad?
There's only one place there's a couple local places in Pittsburgh that are good, but it's not for coffee. Like, I can
Yeah.
get a better Americano at other places.
I mean, I would guess that a lot of people don't live in cities where there are coffee shops that sell really good coffee. Like Starbucks is going to be as high as you get. It's
Pretty
like
much.
being
No,
in
you're-
Los
you're
Angeles,
probably correct.
being in LA. Yeah, I can probably go somewhere that is very fancy and has really, really good coffee, but it's still not as easy than just going to Starbucks drive-through. Fuck it, I just like lattes, man. They taste okay.
Yeah.
Give me that flavored syrup. Fucking
Yeah.
drizzle it all over my nipples. I'll lick it off.
Well, and I just get regular coffee, but it's like the Starbucks regular coffee maybe is not the best you will ever have,
Yeah.
but it's consistent, and I can
It's
get it
serviceable.
anywhere.
Yep. I will say
It's
this,
worth
Brandon.
my $2.
The best coffee drink I've ever had was that place we went in Seattle.
Yeah, Victrola. That
Victrola.
place is so
Holy
good.
shit, dude.
I'm gonna go there again at Prime.
Yeah, at Prime, our Airbnb is like right down the block from that place.
So good.
Yeah.
We should go to more than that place. Like Seattle has good coffee places. We should try
Yeah.
more of them.
Yeah.
I think
really?
the fact that I willingly go to a 7-Eleven and get that powdered bullshit that they have that just mixes with hot water shows that I can just drink anything that tastes all right and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Your standards are far lower.
Much like
Most.
Ubisoft, your standards are far lower. Ubisoft
segue.
this week.
He promises a lot, but
Leading into the
fails to
news.
deliver.
Yeah, Ubisoft hypes it a lot. So Ubisoft this week, first of all, at E3, they fell over themselves
Oh my goodness.
with the Assassin's Creed reveal and there being no female assassins. And then people all calling them out on this as, gender equality is a huge hot button issue right now in games. And here's the thing, like, that makes it, I don't care what anyone says who is in game development. AJ was trying to defend them, saying it would have added all this time. I don't care. Just mock up a female model. You have
I don't care
3,000
about time
people
either.
working on your video game. Like, you could have done it, especially for a game that isn't story driven for the 4-player.
Yep.
Like, yes, I can see if, your main character is a dude and written in as a dude, fine, great. Then
yeah,
that's
but
that's
when you're doing
the choice.
multiplayer,
Yeah, that's
come on.
well, I mean, that's the thing for me. It's not even about male and female characters and the gender diversity, whatever the bullshit that comes in with that. It's Ubisoft's half-ass excuses.
Yeah, no,
that
that's-
just makes them
yeah,
look like
that is the point.
shitheads. It's like if you have a commitment to just having male characters there, then you just have that commitment. Don't come out to the media with these dumbass excuses about time and all of this bullshit. Because the fact of the matter is that you're releasing these games every fucking year. The only thing that they care about is the bottom line, right? And what's
Yeah.
marketable. So they get what will pass, and then they just run with it. It's like how Far Cry is becoming the game that's about having the villain, and that's what sells the game. Like Far Cry 3, yeah, sure. You had that villain that sold the game very well, and I have to say, it's a well-written character. But then as soon as they come out with Far Cry 4, and they do the same fucking thing again, where their main focus is having this comic relief, but also brutal, bad character in the game, it just shows that that's all that they care about is like, what can we find that will make this franchise sell more than it already is? They found it with Far Cry. They've got it with Assassin's Creed. They're trying to find it with Watch Dogs, but I don't think that that's going to fucking work. Ubisoft only cares about making franchises. They've said it themselves. All they want to do is make money. They don't give a shit about your gender equality and having female characters. They blow off this excuse about time and whatnot. They have the time. They have the resources. They just don't give a shit.
Yeah,
all right,
they don't care. And
Ubisoft has 3,000 employees, where almost a third of them are at Ubisoft Montreal. Like, they have the fucking manpower. And they got called out by a developer from Naughty Dog anyways on their bullshit excuse that it would take double the work to make a female character. No, it doesn't. Anybody with half a brain knows you don't have to redo 2,000 fucking animations. Yeah, you have to get a new voiceover artist, fine. Scrape off a little bit of that fucking marketing budget that you keep using every year to shove this shit down our throats. You've got the power and you've got the time to do it and you've got the money. You don't have an excuse, Ubisoft. You really don't. That's the problem.
I don't think you care about this issue, Mark. I don't
well,
think
it's,
you're.
it's just that so that was the start of them falling all over themselves with excuses this week that just did not fly at all. And then he comes out and says, "Well, we'll try to increase diversity in the future, whatever."
Yeah.
So then,
sure.
then they put out a statement on a much less important issue, but still just hilarious, like misunderstanding of like what. God. So they put out a statement saying that the mod for Watch Dogs, which unlocks a bunch of graphical options which were locked,
Yep.
could have a damaging effect on gameplay.
Could have.
Well-
They didn't test it because they
well-
don't test anything.
Let me first say that, of course, turning on more graphics options and like higher AA and, you know, ambient occlusion and like all these things, yes, it's going to have a damaging effect on gameplay depending on the video card you have. It's the whole reason we play on PC is because I can adjust everything in a proper game made for it. Okay? You don't need to tell me that turning on all these options is going to maybe drop my frame rate. My frame rate already sucked in your game. All right? You already made a game with shitty frame rate that wasn't optimized. So if this guy, he didn't even mod either. That's the thing. He just unlocked options. He didn't even mod it. He even says in the forum post for the quote unquote mod, I'm not a modder. Like, all I did was dig into some files and found that these were disabled, and I enabled them again. Like,
Wow.
and Ubisoft basically said, well, you know, these didn't get through testing, basically. Like, what?
Neither did the rest of the fucking game.
Yeah, exactly. John just comes in.
The whole fucking game didn't go through testing.
Yep.
And that's
God
all
damn
there is
it.
to say.
Yep.
And I was really looking forward to that game.
And
You know, my favorite thing in the post was that they used the word subjective. That it would change the game in a subjective manner. It's like, no. All right, yeah, we can talk about the subjectivity of an art style maybe, but if ambient occlusion or shadow resolution or lighting changes are being brought into the game, that's not subjective changes. Those are objective fucking quality improvements. Learn the words. Stop bastardizing these things to make yourself look better. It's fucking annoying.
The quote-
exact quote is actually
so good.
really good. It says the mod in question subjectively enhances the game's visual fidelity in certain situations, but also can have various negative impacts. Those could range from performance issues to difficulty in reading the environment in order to appreciate the gameplay, to potentially making the
does
game
that
less
mean?
enjoyable or
That
even
is-
unstable.
Reading.
They're all saying the exact same thing. Performance issues, yes. If you enable graphical options, you might have performance issues. What is What is difficulty in reading the environment in order to appreciate the gameplay? That
No,
doesn't mean
reading
anything.
the environment. Reading the environment only constitutes reading the billboards that spout memes every time you click on one of them. They want you to be able to read those properly, and
Well,
with
they
the
don't
fixes.
They don't want your frame rate to drop so low, so when you look in the window reflection, do you see the road behind you when you're standing in a field? They want to make sure you're getting at least a smooth 30 FPS
So
during that
what
experience.
I thought of when I read when you just read that was in Battlefield 4 sometimes you're facing the sun, and in like reality you are kind of somewhat blinded by the sun in that direction because that's, you know, how it would really look. If that's what they're saying, then I would love to be blinded by the sun in Watch Dogs, please.
Anion's quote, me
Like-
taking a shit can have various negative impacts. I still do it.
The top quote here though, Brandon, is the greatest. The dev team is completely dedicated to getting the most out of each platform. Well, that's just clearly fucking
So
false.
awful.
That is just
No,
false.
you're not.
You locked away a bunch of options that I can do in any solid PC port. So the notion that we would actively downgrade quality is contrary to everything you set out to achieve. Well, clearly you did.
You did. Yeah,
So-
if they're disabled and they're still in the game files, that means you actively fucking downgraded
And it was
It's
already
awful.
broken. It's like, if you let me adjust this shit, it doesn't matter. It was already a broken mess that you're having to
Yeah.
patch. So, like, I mean, there are certain points of the game back when I first started it where if I, like, was in the car, the game was fine, but if I got out of the car, it dropped to, like, 10 FPS. Like, you already are fucked up. Like, I don't... Jesus
This-
Christ.
this
Just
is coming
stop
from a
talking.
game-
Just...
This is coming from a game that if you walk in front of a train, the train automatically stops no matter how fast it's going. It just they
Oh, really?
yeah, if you take a car or just walk in front of a train that's on the tracks, it will automatically stop. It will not move if you're in front of it, like everything else. This is a game that has train tracks that overlap each other at a 90-degree angle still. There is still that shit there, where there is a part of the train tracks where the tracks do not converge into a turn. They just sit on top of each other and overlap. It's just completely unfiltered garbage that is still in basically a prototype state, and nobody has finished the game, and they're not going to. It's never going to be the way that it's supposed to be.
God.
Yep. And like I said, like, I know you 100% dislike this game, but Mark, but I find like some of the chase scenes are really hype, and like there's some really good moments in there. And
I
it's
still
just
had
like,
a little bit of fun with the game, but for certain reasons, it's not because the game is anywhere near what it should be, and it's
Right.
not worth $60 goddamn dollars for sure.
Well,
So-
I think that's part of the reason why we're so adamant about it. Is the game had so much potential, and we got so hyped watching it at E3 when it was released
2 years
or
ago.
shown off, and then we get this, and we're just like, what the fuck? It's like,
Like,
this game
I'm
had so much
honestly-
potential.
I'm honestly curious how they even got it running for the E3 thing. I don't get it, because it had way better graphical quality there 2 years ago. How the fuck did they get that
was
running?
That was pre-rendered. That was not
Yeah,
gameplay.
I would.
That
Yeah, I would
was-
hope so.
That wasn't gameplay at all.
I mean, let's not leave
I just-
Ubisoft on that though. I mean, Dark Souls 2 had the same issue. Looked way
Yeah.
better, and then
I
Yep.
just wish, like, I wish that they could be honest about this instead of like PR speak, because
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
quote is so bad. The quote is literally the quote says those could range from performance issues to potentially making the game less enjoyable. They're saying that something that could happen because of this is it makes the game less enjoyable. That's not, like, that doesn't mean anything.
How did they test that? How did you do it? I like how
wanna-
they're
I wanna
posting.
be
Why
in
does
that
it make
meeting.
the game less enjoyable? Like,
Just
just
for
be
people who
honest.
haven't- yeah.
If the answer is that you ran out of time, like, to test those settings appropriately for PC or something, fine, say that. But
Yep.
you just look so dumb when a modder like finds these values because he looks at the hex code, and then
Yeah.
you give an explanation that doesn't like actually account for why those settings are missing.
yeah.
It doesn't add up. It makes them think that they're or it makes me think that they look at the consumers as like not being able to figure out what really happened.
Well, I mean, I just love
Yeah.
that you put
Just
this
be
out
honest.
a week. The reason I brought up the Assassin's Creed thing was just like, who is running this PR department? This is like as bad as Microsoft's PR announcing the Xbox One, which I thought you couldn't get any lower than that. And apparently we have. It's just like, just stop putting out press releases regarding your games, Ubisoft, all right? For Far Cry 4, it's going to be pretty decent. Just don't talk about it. That's all I ask.
Let's just be honest. We can't expect anything more from these people who even put the wrong date on the post about Watch Dogs. They had the date of 6/27 when it was 6/20. Like, they got that wrong. So Ubisoft is completely incapable of doing anything right.
Yep. It's bad. Now on to a positive
Oh yeah, it still
thing.
says that. This blog post is from 6/27. This blog post is 5 days from now. Oh god.
I can't believe they haven't fixed it. I figured they would have fixed it by now.
Oh man.
Now to talk about CSGO a little bit. This is more of a quick hit, but CSGO is, we're all aboard. We love to watch CSGO.
So good.
Although I will say, CSGO tournament organizers, please,
Can you make the breaks in between
schedule
games longer?
properly. Please. The DreamHack
So is there just a
schedule
lot of
was-
downtime going
Dude,
on?
I don't know who was scheduling the final day of DreamHack, but they were out of their fucking mind. Whoever it was. It was like at one point it was 4 hours between matches.
What?
It's like, I can understand a half hour. I can understand 45 minutes, even an hour. We're facing such and such a team. Let's talk about it. Let's strategize. Get a little rest in between. You 4 hours. 4 hours. Like, you want to let hype die? That's how you do it.
Hey man, they had to fly in consultants from out of town to bring in to get those strats ready for the final match.
The whole second day, the lowest downtime between matches was an hour. The lowest.
Wow.
So
That's pretty bad.
it's like, I don't know if that was a DreamHack scheduling thing. I honestly don't know the circumstances, but that has been the case at the ESL LAN a few months ago. It was the same thing. There was when you were down to like, 8 to 8 teams, like those final teams, pared down from 16 when it wasn't like pool play. Pool play was like rapid fire, you had game after game after game. But like, once they got down to that, they were giving them like massive breaks, and it was like, why are you doing this? You could even be paying less money for the venue.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you cannot just have downtime on air like that. I mean, granted, it was DreamHack. People were going to watch anyway, but it's like, I'm trying to watch this, and I had no idea when,
Yeah, you're still going to lose people because you can't expect people to always be around, especially when it's that long between
so
matches.
bad. Having that been said, there's another $250,000 community-funded prize pool for ESL 1 in Cologne coming up, and I believe there's no date on this. Oh, August 14 to 17. There we go. 16 top teams, 8 regional qualifiers. Of course, Virtus Pro, NIP, Dignitas, Team Global, Complexity, Hellraisers, Team LDLC, and Fnatic will be there guaranteed, and then the other 8 spots will be filled. But I just wanted to bring it up because we love to watch CSGO despite that downtime. And I still think it has the best spectator client of any game in existence. But
their production value is really, really good for esports.
Yeah.
Usually when you watch esports stuff, especially the fighting stuff for some reason, the mic is always distorting constantly. It drives me insane.
it depends on who's running the fighting game stream. But yes,
Fair
there's
enough,
some pretty
but-
bad ones. Actually, Capcom is terrible at it. Terrible,
But-
which is funny because
The presentation looks like it's like an ESPN event or something. It's really good.
yeah, and
So
but this is now, I think, Sir Scoots, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a cool dude, esports guy. He said that's now 750 grand over the last like 3 or 4 major tournaments for CS:GO prize pools. I mean, that is the up and up. You weren't going to see that, even 2 years ago or a year ago, even for CS:GO. So
Yeah.
I just hope it keeps this upwards trajectory for the sake of FPS games.
Yeah,
No-
exactly.
No
That's
matter
I was about
what
to
you
say.
care about CS:GO, or if you think CS:GO sucks, because there's a lot of people that A lot of hardcore Counter-Strike people that don't like it. No matter what you think about it, we need an FPS game. Quake has been dead for a couple of years, really, if not longer. Counter-Strike Source was on its way out. You weren't seeing massive Counter-Strike Source tournaments with 90,000 people watching,
Nope.
2 years ago before CSGO was really maturing.
Now, this is crazy money for FPS tournaments.
Yeah.
Plus, CS:GO has a nice built-in comp thing, so it gets your feet wet if you want to try out the competitive stuff instead of going, oh, you want to play comp stuff? Okay, you have to join ESEA and pay monthly. That's going to turn a few people away just because you have to pay into it.
Do
initially.
something extra, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really like to see it as this podcast, for the most part, are started out as hardcore FPS players. It's I just really hope I hope we get an equivalent or very close to, maybe not this year's international, which is on a scale esports has never seen, which I think it's at like 9 million or 10 million now, something ridiculous for Dota 2. But I'd love to see $1 million CS:GO tournament in the near future. That'd be great.
I don't think we're that far off from it. Like, I think Valve has found the way forward with the community-funded stuff.
Yep.
And I hope that informs other FPS developers. Like, I think the preeminent one I'm thinking of is Unreal Tournament. Like, when they're developing the marketplace and stuff for that, I hope that they keep this sort of thing in mind, like this crowdfunding idea around your competitive scene. Because I think Unreal Tournament has a chance to be another, esport kind of FPS.
Yeah.
If they want it to be, which I think they do.
I'm from chat. The international is at 9.9 million.
Yeah, it's at a lot.
Jesus.
Good.
I mean,
fucking
hopefully
Lord.
CS:GO can get something like the
Well,
international
they
treatment.
did
it has.
This was funded that way, of course.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, in terms of like Valve orchestrating,
Right.
the tournament themselves and having the venue
Yeah.
and whatnot, and making a big hoopla about it, that would be really nice for
I
CS:GO.
think it always benefits an esport when there is a defined one big championship at some
Exactly.
point. Like fighting games.
Yeah.
Fighting games have EVO, even though technically EVO is just another tournament, but Capcom's got the Pro Tour going now as well. And then you have, the International for Dota, the LCS Championships for League of Legends. When that happens, it just makes it so much more legit, and the money gets huge, obviously, that way.
Yeah, and a lot of it's about marketing too. It's like if Valve gets behind it, they can market it better and, just get a bigger viewership that way.
So, a couple quick notes here, and then one very odd note. I'm going out of order of what's in the document, sort of.
Oh, man.
AMD is adding their own recording software, sort of like the stuff that NVIDIA, the Shadowplay. I have not tried it. I am the only one here with an AMD card, I believe.
No, I have AMD now.
So I'll try this out. I got the update the other day, but didn't, I haven't tried to record anything with it. So they're calling it like game DVR or something. But so that is a thing if you have an AMD card now. It does not work for streaming yet, it's just for recording. And also the D3 auction house, which we knew was shutting down anyway, it is actually shutting down on Tuesday. So there it is. Finally, the witch is dead. So, and there is a big actual D3 update coming up, 2.1 patch. I don't know if it's Tuesday or not. So, but this last one, in a bizarre twist, Microsoft, who now really can't do anything correctly, including shut down the worst service known to man. Microsoft has come out and flatly denied that they are shutting down games for Windows Live. I don't know why you'd want to deny that.
It's so weird considering that the store is shut down, isn't it? Like that's been removed. Like there's no reason for Game for Windows Live to exist anymore. It doesn't serve a purpose other than to be a login service that gets in your way.
Yep. Everything in this article, like Age of Empires Online was the game where everyone saw the date. Games for Windows Live would be discontinued on July 1st, 2014. And like you can't buy games on Games for Windows Live. It used to have like a shopping part of it, like Steam, and you can't do that anymore. Street Fighter, of course, has moved off it, as have many other games. moved over to Steamworks and then other services to do that. But like, what? Why? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't just like, even if you were looking to do something more with Games for Windows Live, why would you not at least rebrand it? Like
Yeah.
at least just allow it to die in its current form with its current branding, which does not have any goodwill left.
no.
Yep.
Why would you not come up with like some new cool name? And if you decide you want to really care about PC games, which to this point has not been the case,
You don't, despite having a massive install base.
at least overhaul it and give it a new name so that people don't associate it with Games for Windows Live. You will never get Games for Windows Live's name out of the mud. No one likes it.
Yeah.
No one is ever gonna like
Developers
it.
don't like nobody
If
likes
they-
You know
yeah,
why
like-
I don't like it? Because I had a bad experience with it like 4 years ago, and it hasn't improved at all, judging by the fact that no one likes it still.
Still got a
It's
sour
just-
taste in your mouth from 4 years.
God,
just,
wouldn't
like,
it
why-
suck to be
why
that
would
guy
you
Never
not
working
had a
let
on
good
it
this?
die?
experience with it. I've never had a seamless experience with it. There's always been an issue of some sort with every game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it like pops up for no reason sometimes. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Mark.
like if they reworked it and rebranded the thing and completely changed the way it works and like put it up as a Windows 8 kind of tie-in, if they wanted to move to having their own like PC gaming distributing platform, then yeah, that would make sense. As much as I don't care about there being anything Microsoft related as a digital distribution platform, I don't fucking care. I don't need another one. We've got 1 million already.
right.
This is dumb. This is just stupid. There's no sense behind it at all.
Just why? What I've always said they should do, and like this statement sort of goes contrary to even going that way. And Microsoft, I mean, if you want to hire me for this idea, go ahead, because it's way better than what you're doing. So Windows 8 like hasn't been adopted very well. People don't really like it overall, and Windows 9 is potentially coming out next spring. What I think they should do is, at that point, the Xbox One will have been out for like, year and a half, almost 2 years. What you should do is just rebrand it to Xbox, right? Games for Windows Live. Like, you can keep it the same right now, but you just say, hey, Games for Windows Live is gone. Look at this. It's now the Xbox app on Windows 9.
Yeah.
And maybe you start selling games to that, like Steam, and maybe you overhaul it so it doesn't suck ass. That would, be a good start.
Good luck.
Rebrand it as Xbox, right? And then allow the first-party Microsoft stuff, such as, oh god, I'm blanking on the name of that game. Sunset Overdrive. That's like a first-party Microsoft game, basically, a studio that Microsoft owns. You can play that on PC, even though it's only on Xbox One, but you have to use this Xbox app.
And you have to have Windows 8, 9, whatever.
9, yeah. I think you would get Windows 9 adoption that
Yeah.
way. I think you would get adoption of this new Xbox app that way. You couldn't. You would have to require 9. I think that would be a smart thing for them to do, business and strategy wise for that. And then just make it an extension of the Xbox One, where you could do maybe some streaming stuff with the Xbox One if you own one, and then some perks for you have this Windows install base, and it's huge. It's massive.
Yep.
It's still the number one OS by a pretty large amount. And you do nothing with it. You do nothing to tap into that. And you have the worst console by all, pretty much everyone. Like the Wii U is even getting more hype right now because at least Nintendo first party shit is real hype. So
And it runs at 1080p 60 FPS.
Yeah. So
I'm buying a Wii U.
On that
You know?
little fucking machine.
dude, I'm with you,
Yeah.
John. I'm definitely buying a
I
Wii
almost
U.
bought one today.
Oh, I've got it now, and I fucking love that purchase. It's
Dude, I'll
great.
race you on Mario Kart. I'll do it right now.
So
Little thing to add to that, I think they should do, Dan, they should make it, if they wanted to, they can even release games on there where you have to use their Xbox One controller
yeah,
and then
Fine.
release Halo on PC, and then you can do cross-platform stuff.
yeah.
You have to use the controller.
Require the controller. Fine with me, dude.
So
Yeah.
and they would get an extra. They'd sell the game for 60
I
and
just
the
don't know
controller
why
for
you're
50.
not using this massive install base and
It's like
catering
giving
to it
people
a
the
little more.
option to invest in their console without investing in their console if they just want to stick to their,
If you
PC
want a
gaming.
piece of Valve's pie, and you should, if you're Microsoft, like you have such a huge advantage in that way. I mean, Valve's already hedging their bets, thinking it's going to happen with the SteamOS stuff. So,
Well, they all they need to do really is like make some compelling reason for developers to care about what is called Games for Windows Live and should be called something else.
yeah,
But like something as simple as like cloud saves for a game that's made with this Games for Windows Live support and Xbox One, right? If you own the game on both, your saves transfer back and forth or something.
Yeah.
Something that is probably not easy technically, but like the only people who could do that would be Microsoft, right?
yeah.
So like they could do cool stuff like that and probably get developers on board, but I don't think you get anyone on board with just saying like, oh yeah, this thing that everyone hates is actually not going to die. It still exists, and we don't have anything else to say, but it still exists.
Yeah, it's got some of the worst publicity. I don't
mean,
know
why
why they would
even-
want to stand behind
Just
it.
don't even open your mouth like that.
Also,
Just let
like,
it live,
Not
but yeah.
not only does it have like a bad reputation, but it also has like a terrible name and a terrible logo. Like, look
Yeah.
at this logo and tell me anyone is excited about anything that's going on here. They're using like 2-3 different fonts. Everything about it. Not good.
Oh God,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, I haven't looked at that in a while. That's fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
All right, new releases this week, Tuesday. I actually had to look on here because Steam, I can't seem to find like coming soon stuff on Steam due to the sales. Company of Heroes 2 gets a DLC, Western Front Armies, for that game. So if you're into that, that comes out Tuesday. The new Grid game, I just bought Grid 2, so I hope it's good to give me a good impression before Grid Autosport comes out on Tuesday. Racing game, of course. And then Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare.
Was that a
I knew that-
typo, or
I
did
knew
you
that
mean
wasn't
to
a
put that
misspelling.
in?
I did not mean to put that in there, and then I deleted it, and then I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave that in there." But I've heard good and terrible things about that. It's basically a first-person shooting tower defense Plants vs Zombies thing. Like it's on Frostbite as well. It's been
sounds
out
like it'd be
for
fun.
Xbox One for some time. I've heard good and bad things from various other podcasts and people who've played it. Like, I mean, I don't even know what to recommend on that, but
You can pre-order the Origin exclusive edition to get 2 booster packs
God,
and 150,000
Fuck that.
in-game coins,
Fuck that.
according to their
Never
website.
mind.
God damn it. Booster pack. I fucking hate that phrase so much.
I think I used to really love Plants vs Zombies, and now I hate it so much just because of the fact that they've monetized it so hard.
Yeah.
They have destroyed PopCap.
In an offensive way. It's not like that they're monetizing it in an intelligent way at all. It's offensive.
it actually makes you angry when you play the game.
When I see the phrase "you can get 2 booster packs and 150,000 in-game coins," I don't want your game anymore.
This next game is in memory of Blah, who got Comcasted tonight, Thursday, June 26th. Shovel Knight finally releases.
Shovel Knight.
He'd be so hype right now if he
Blah
was
has
here.
a boner
Oh.
right now.
Yeah, he somewhere he just got one for no reason, and this was why. Much like when there's a Dan Ultra in Street Fighter, Spooky wakes up in a hot sweat. Friday, June 27th, Sniper Elite 3 apparently comes out. This is according to IGN's list, which is usually pretty good, their upcoming release list. But occasionally it misses the mark. I hadn't heard anything about this coming out now. I thought it was coming out at a different
I just
time.
got
but-
Sniper Elite
I
V2
think it
for
was-
free the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it only had like a summer mark on it on Steam or something like that. It didn't actually have a date, but I never checked up
Let
on
me
it to
look
see if
now.
there
I bet
actually
I
was a
can-
date that anybody said.
Because, I
Let me
mean,
see
those
if
games,
it says it
like,
on Steam.
those
Yeah,
games
on
are
Steam it
fun.
says June 27th now. Yeah,
Yep.
it does. Okay.
Yeah,
It does
so-
have a day on it.
It's $40 right now if you pre-purchase it. I would assume, quite honestly, if you like the other Sniper Elite games, you will probably like this one.
They have a screenshot of their X-ray in this game. It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Like way more detailed X-ray shots.
You
Yeah.
might as well double down on the reason people play that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I want to see a man's testicles explode, if possible.
Even more
So-
gruesomely than before.
Yeah.
If you can somehow increase the testicular fortitude of this game.
Yeah. Like, I want to see brutal, horrible death in slow-mo better than I did before. So that is it for the news, guys. We're going to take another small break here and head to the viewer questions. We'll be right back.
In honor of Ubisoft, this will be a 30-minute break.
In honor of all CSGO tournament organizers, we'll be back in an hour with viewer
Enjoy the
questions.
same ad for the entire duration.
We'll just be showing shots of the venue with with music that we could pay for the rights for, which wasn't very much.
They have X-ray vehicle takedowns in Sniper 3 now.
But that's pretty legit. Those games are fun. Like
They are.
Yeah, Sniper Elite V2. Like I got it free as well. It's a lot of fun to play that game.
Fenton beat the whole thing, killed Hitler. Got
Yeah.
the Kill Hitler deal.
I
It
think
was
he got that
DLC
when
to
the game,
kill
like,
Hitler.
came out.
If you're gonna make DLC, by the way, make it that I can now kill Hitler brutally.
Guess what is
Like,
part of the pre-purchase offer for Sniper Elite 3?
Wait.
Target Hitler.
there we go. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Also, shout outs to the dudes. I believe it's Capcom. Dead Rising 3 was on sale, the PC version, which is stuck at 30 FPS. It was on sale the first day of the Steam sale. But shout outs to them for making their pre-order bonus, the game being $12 off.
Yeah.
That's how you
Well,
do it.
and from what I've seen and heard, people are saying that unlocking it is not really as bad as maybe that quote might have put it out to be.
PC Gamer said
although,
it's
I mean,
fine at 30.
Yeah,
which
I mean,
they don't
it's
say very
still-
often.
Yeah, it's still like just wait for it to come out. Just wait for it to come out. There's no point.
Yeah. So also the DLC for that, the Hyper Alpha Extended Edition, it's a 4-player co-op horde mode with like various Capcom characters in it. Looks hilarious. They showed it at E3. That'll be out for PC at some point. I don't know how they're.
Oh,
gonna
I thought
do
that was only going to be on the console.
No,
Okay.
it is going to be on PC at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably get that game. I was looking for other questions here. We got several new email questions during
We've got enough questions, I think.
the. All right.
We could even cut out the last one depending on time.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that was a lot of questions added out of nowhere.
They're playing Banjo-Tooie on SGDQ right now.
Yep.
I really
Hey.
won't be able to sleep this week.
I'll just have it on
when
at work. I will get nothing done, but it's a good time to have it because summer camp's Friday.
I played the first Banjo game, and I remember beating it, and I had to go pick up my sister at school, so I didn't get to watch the ending of the game because I was like putting it off. I'm like, no, I'll just beat it real quick, and then I'll pick her up. And I was already 10 minutes late, and then the thing starts rolling. I'm like, damn it! And then when you beat it the second time, it doesn't play it. I'm like, I'll never get to see the ending to this game. Whereas nowadays, you would just go watch a Let's Play,
YouTube.
but- yeah, that didn't exist back then, so I've never seen the ending to that game, even though I beat it like forever ago.
Viewer questions. This first one is from John M. He writes in, if Anthony Sullivan suddenly died because of a cocaine overdose, shades of Billy Mays, and you had to take his place as TV's most beloved salesman, what would you sell? Doesn't have to exist already, and how would you sell it?
To imply that TV's most beloved salesman has ever been anyone but Billy Mays is a travesty.
Yeah, I don't think people give a shit about Anthony Sullivan. Yeah, he's pretty out there these days, but nobody's got the hype for him. All right, it's
No.
not there. If this guy died, nobody would be typing in all caps for fucking years to come. Okay?
Yep.
It just wouldn't happen.
Yep.
Do not soil the name of Billy
I mean,
Mays.
I would, because he's such a good salesman, I would start with something that's very tough to sell, and that would be Ubisoft's PR department. I would attempt to sell it to other businesses. Like, if they need a PR department, I'd be like, hey, I got this one, because they're not doing anything. So,
I would sell Anthony Sullivan's Frozen Corpse.
Wow.
Now
If you
for
go
only
the next 5 minutes, we'll freeze
19.99.
him for even longer. So he doesn't melt by the time he gets to
But
the
yeah,
front door.
put a voice box in him that just plays when you press a button, make him one of those talking basses that everybody got back in the day.
Oh god.
We'll not give you just one thing of OxyClean. I love how it's that is every single infomercial. It's the same exact offer. It's like
Exactly.
you don't get
yeah.
just one of these. You get like 16. You get like 16.
All
of
for the
these
price
of
of
one.
well, it's actually the price of 16, but we're gonna say it's the price of one. It's totally the price of one.
Easy payments. They're always easy to make.
Easy payments, easy life. You know.
Yep.
Easy payments.
God, this picture of him is just infuriating. I'll be honest with you.
Oh god.
All right, next question. This one's pretty straight up about the event that's going on right now. What is your most hyped game for Summer Games Done Quick 2014? I'm actually looking at the schedule right now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do
You have a
because
link?
there's so many.
There's so many games, dude. Yeah, here, I'll link the schedule.
There are a lot of really good ones, but
Yeah.
some of them I've seen before. One that I haven't seen before that I'm interested in is Deus Ex Human Revolution in an hour and 25.
That's ridiculous, actually. Holy shit.
That's pretty
I see
sick.
BioShock 2 in an hour 40.
Yeah, they did that last year. If you haven't seen a BioShock speedrun, holy fuck. There's so many, like, glitch through the ceiling,
I need to
skip
see
entire
that. 'Cause,
area.
Yeah, I was about to say, how do
Like-
you go through a linear game like that, without just glitching through shit? But I see Jet Set Radio on there as well. That seems like a good one to watch.
Is the new Amnesia as broken as the original one? Because watching the first one get speedrun is
let's-
really fun
it's
to watch.
unreal.
Someone
so-
has that in an hour. Someone has Amnesia Machine for Pigs in an hour.
To be
That's
fair, I
coming
beat
up.
it in one stream, and it was like 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's a quarter of the time. And
Yeah.
of course, I was listening to the story and whatnot. Because that game
Super
is
Meat Boy
mostly
would be
story.
good.
But,
Super Meat Boy is really good.
well,
one's
I'll be
always
the only
fun.
person here, and I'm gonna say Mystical Ninja starring Gomon is really exciting to me because that game was fucking hard, and I didn't beat it when I was a kid.
Yeah, I've never
That's-
seen it before.
I actually agree with you, John. I love seeing games like Ninja Gaiden, for instance.
Oh
Yeah,
god, that
yeah,
game's so
yeah.
Because
hard.
that game is so hard. Like if you've never played the
Someone-
original Nintendo Ninja Gaiden, it's hard as fuck, dude. Just to beat
Mhm.
normally, let alone beat it in 20 minutes or whatever they
Yeah,
did.
there's some weird ones on here. Someone's doing Outlast in 30 minutes. Like of all things, Outlast.
There's no Dark Souls run this year, so I'm less hype about that.
That sucks.
Someone's got
GoldenEye is always
oh
fun.
yeah. Someone's got Octodad, Dadliest Catch in 30 minutes. I might want to watch that to see
So-
how they do it because that was something that I was into is trying to optimize and speed run the individual levels, but I've never watched anybody do the full game in one sitting.
If you missed the beginning of the stream, Notch came in. Notch does this every time they do it. He gives 10 grand every time. So, and so your donations for this go to various donation incentives, like blind runs and things like that.
Yeah.
Notch just straight up put all 10,000, which was way more obviously than the goal was for this incentive, for the blind Super Meat Boy run. Blindfolded Super Meat.
That's so
what
good.
the fuck?
So good.
Yeah, they're gonna have Trials Fusion in an hour and 15. Someone's doing that on the 26th. That's gonna be a
Jesus.
good one to watch. God, that's a short fucking.
Oh my
time
god.
for all of
Okay, I'm
those.
hyped for this. They're doing Aladdin for the Genesis.
Oh god.
25
Yeah, that
minutes.
one- I don't think I've seen that one before.
Yeah.
I like that one. I like Sonic too. I think all the side scrollers, like the older side scrollers, are really interesting to watch.
Oh
Mhm.
Then
my
you gotta
god.
look at like the nostalgia too. Like there's
Yeah,
the
go
Golden
ahead.
Eyes, there's Doom, there's
Yep.
the original
GoldenEye is
Quake.
really good.
They're all good to watch.
Doom speedruns are so skill. Like those guys are insane on Doom. You would
And
die
Final
so
Fantasy
horribly.
they're doing
6
Doom
one?
64, so I assume they have to do it with an N64 controller.
Yes.
hmm
Which, why?
This may be the most shocking thing on here, and people who watch Cyrano probably have seen him do it anyway. System Shock 2 in 20 minutes. That's like a 16-hour game.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck? Psychonauts at an hour 10. That's also a really long game. That I'm gonna miss probably all those because they're so late at night. But it's System Shock 2, Psychonauts, and Deus Ex Human Revolution right
Yeah,
in a
Doom
row.
64 even has the incentive for the Watch Me Die difficulty. That's a fun one to do.
Yep, they those guys are incredible.
Yeah, I like it. I like it when they have to put up the harder difficulty, because after that is Halo Combat Evolved and the incentive is Legendary. Like, that's always fun to watch because you die so fucking fast on Legendary when you're trying to speedrun Halo. I've seen it done a lot, and it's very frustrating looking to do.
Yep.
Guacamelee in an hour and 25. Bastion in an hour, all story levels. That's incredible.
Someone's doing a game called Bible Adventures in 15 minutes.
Oh, the Bible Adventures run is great. They did that last year. They did that
Yeah,
last
that's
year.
fun to watch.
It's really hype. Because that game is, as you would assume with a game just bankrolled by a church,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's broken as fuck.
I don't think I've seen Tony Hawk Pro Skater before. I had seen him for that one.
It is incredible. They had it last year.
I've never seen it done at AGDQ, but I have seen people do some speedruns.
What they do is they do the
4 in the morning.
what is it, like 9 or 10 things per level to get.
Yep.
And so
To
they
get-
do
to
them
get further
all
on.
in one run. Like they have it
Mhm.
all mapped out so that they can hit everything, obviously. Oh my god, they're doing Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
I saw that.
Let me see. Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne, Sentinels campaign in an hour and a half.
Oh God.
That's a long campaign. Doing it in
Yeah.
an hour and a half.
I watched, there's a speedrunner, and I watched him do a race to do Warcraft 3, I think 100%. Like, he was playing for almost 40 hours before I think he gave up. I don't even know if he finished the game, but he was playing for so long.
What we got? I'm just looking through here. We'll talk about this a little more. I can't hype SGDQ enough. It's so fun. GoldenEye an hour 20.
Yeah.
Mhm.
GoldenEye is one of my favorites.
The game's hard too. I went back and tried to play that on, what is it, 007 mode or the hardest one? I forget.
Double
On my
Agent.
Nintendo. Yeah, that's it.
It's hard as fuck.
And it was really hard. I didn't remember it being that hard because I beat everything when I was a kid on Double
Well,
Agent.
I think we've talked about it before, but that one, I think the ones that are really interesting are like GoldenEye. They look down so that they don't get frame lag. So they're
Yeah.
just like looking down half the time at the floor so that they can run faster. That's the stuff that is just crazy to
This
me.
may be the most incredible one of them all. Especially shout outs to people in the chat who love Fallout, because I know people do, and people play that for hundreds of hours, right? Fallout 3 in 50 minutes.
Wow.
50.
50 minutes for
Why
all
the fuck does that have to be at 4:55 in the morning? Is the question.
Yeah.
Why? Please do not do that.
I'll be on the way to work at that point. Actually, yeah, no, I'll be able to watch that while I work at home. That'll be good. I'm just continuing to go through here, see if there's Quake in an hour 45 on Nightmare.
God, no, thank you.
By the way, if you guys haven't seen in the chat, obviously Brandon loved Doom, and I think everyone here has played Doom. If you don't know what fast is for shooters till you've played like original Doom or Quake, they are so much faster. Like original Quake is so much faster than even like Quake Live. Like it's so much faster.
That ultimate Doom race they're doing to beat Ultimate Doom in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is nuts to watch it.
Yeah, it's incredible. And then the Mario block, of course. Mario games are always good. Half-Life 2 in 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Those
Game
are
that
always
took
fun to
me
watch.
12 hours originally, I think, to beat Half-Life 2.
Yeah, their last one's going to be Final Fantasy 6 in 7 hours and 30 minutes. So have fun with that one, that guy.
That's like a 50-hour game, by the way.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite game of all time, but God, 7.5 hours. I don't even think I would watch that. I'm sorry.
They always do that last. It's incredible, though, what they do.
Yeah,
They-
Skyward Sword is
Yeah.
also a long one at 6 hours.
Yeah, I think it's in Final Fantasy VI. They take an item. So these guys are like so crazy. There's a way you can fuck with your backpack space in Final Fantasy VI, and it makes it so there's some item that ups your stats by like 999 on every stat. So basically, like 3 hours into the game, you can just go beat the end boss. Basically,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
it just makes you incredibly powerful. So, but keep tuning into it all week, guys. Donate if you can. Those guys are incredible.
Yeah, again, for people who missed it, there is a Humble Bundle that if you donate $25 to the Summer Games Done Quick thing, you can get a bunch of games with it. So there is some incentive to donate at least to $25 there.
Yeah. So, Next question, kind of a quick one. Favorite zone out and play game. So like game you just like throw on when you don't want to think and just want
For
to.
me, it's Hearthstone right now.
Pretty
So
much any
easy.
shooter, just anything that's pretty
Yeah.
easy for me to play like a shooter. I like doing Team Fortress and Fistful of Frags right now. That's easy for me.
The ones that I zone out the most, and like if I'm streaming, just don't look at chat or at CS:GO or Smite if I'm playing like really competitive, because that's where I just get tunnel vision and I don't look at anything else except for when I'm dead. But
What did you say?
those are
John?
my favorites.
Quake for me.
Quake.
Easy game, easy life.
I have to say World of Warcraft back in the
Yeah,
day.
same thing. MMOs.
Like-
in
Oh, if we're
general.
talking like all time, then yeah.
Yeah,
that's an easy
World
one.
of
That would
Warcraft
be-
is probably my all-time zone out.
That would be literally, I would just like alt tab when I needed to do other things.
Yeah.
Just have the game open all the time. So
I just sit there with music on for like, level and alt. Yeah, just
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I've
would-
listened
I
to
would
entire
completely-
audiobooks playing WoW.
completely dead to the world.
I would just like zone out and grind for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You talk about zone out, like there's zoning out in a game, and then there's playing WoW, and
Yeah,
that's another level.
it's another
Yeah.
breed.
All right, this next one from Coors Engineer. Coors says, you're having recovered from the unfortunate Coors crash. I'm now trying to get a job. Will the crash hurt my chances of working at NASA? Well, let me qualify this by saying you did crash a train killing thousands, and it was full of raw frosty power. But I will say this. You have had access to technology in the Coors Light Train that few have touched. So NASA may have some questions for you at least. That train went 27,000 miles an hour and could spontaneously...
Oh my god, this is an
Flash.
Onion article. Is this what this is? Oh
Yeah.
my god. Damn it.
Oh.
whenever I get a bunch of subs or anything in chat, I throw on the Coors Light video and we watch it. We watch
40
But-
million tons.
40 million tons of raw frosty power. Yeah, Barkley B. Cool Times in chat. Can't prove I did anything. You have had access to something that goes 27,000 miles an hour on the ground. So, I mean, that is far ahead of
Yeah.
what any government has right now. I don't know where Coors got this money or science. But, I mean, they can't make beer correctly, so I don't know how they're making this train.
But if they could go that fast in space, we can vacation on Mars. So
Yeah.
just get
Get
on.
people drunk. you can
NASA
do
wants to
anything.
talk to you at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Not only are we going to Mars, but we're going to be shit faced on shitty beer by the time we get there.
It's going to take that long to get drunk on Coors Light, too. Unless you're Dunkus, then you're one with the silver bullet. Next question from Visage ID. Are there any in-game occurrences that you think are unique to you, like meaning no one else has had the same happen to them? So I think this maybe means like glitches or just weird shit happening.
Probably not. I mean, that's a lot of trial and error for things to happen. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
there's-
I was thinking when I saw this question, I was thinking almost stuff like things that have happened in like a multiplayer game that is like
Yeah.
an experience that you don't think
Mhm.
anyone else has had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean that's with most FPS.
Like, I'm
I don't
thinking-
think anybody's
I'm think-
experienced how fucking great I am at all of them. That's unique to me.
Because I think about stuff like Terran Mill and South Shore back in the early WoW days. Like that's not unique to me, but something like that.
it's something
That'll
that
never
nobody
happen
else has
again.
experienced
I'll tell you
anymore.
that.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
never happen again.
I once dodged a blue shell in Mario Kart. I don't know how it happened.
There you go.
There you
but
go.
it
That's
happened, and it was before recording software was a thing, so I wasn't recording it, and I was just speechless. It's like, how
Yeah,
did that? I'm still moving. Yeah,
I mean, I remember like WoW has so many of those. Like for me though, because like the first time
First
I
drag
ever,
kill.
first rag kill, first time I ever wall walked into Highjaw. like
Oh yeah, that
5
one.
years
Oh,
or
God.
6 years because them came out, and you could get up in there and they had the construction signs and shit, and like
Not just doing that, but then also going up to over Dark Shore and fucking doing your slow fall all the way down over those
Yeah.
trees and shit to jump from Hyjal.
Yep, and that again, like Brandon said, like that's not unique to me. Many players went
Yeah.
and did that in Classic, but like you'll
Well, it's a
never
special
see it
place in your
again.
heart.
You'll never see it again. Like that situation.
Yeah, it's
will
it's
never
really hard to
happen
think
again.
of one thing specifically that you don't think anybody else has done. But yeah, I can't think of one off at the top of my head. Probably doesn't exist.
See, Just Cause 2 has deadened those experiences because you see something completely insane that has never
Yeah.
happened to anyone else every time you play. All kinds
I
of crazy
remember,
shit.
I have like a bunch of memories. Most of mine are probably from MMOs, but like from Star Wars Galaxies, I have so many memories of like WoW. WoW was one of the first games that was really able to get like massive PvP to not completely destroy everything, like to
Yeah.
not crash servers. And I remember in Galaxies, we would have probably like 100 on 100 battle, like a PvP battle, and it would bring down the server.
Yep.
And I just remember like trying to not really knowing who won, because it was really more like who can capture a screenshot before they got disconnected. And the last screenshot was like the verifiable evidence of who won.
Well, like shit, like the Encourage opening day. Like
Yeah.
that
Oh,
will
yeah.
never
My
that will
God.
never happen in any other
Oh,
game
Jesus.
again. Actually, good example from the chat that happened on this channel on Monday. Boss Jai Zohan's been playing through all the Mass Effects, and he finally beat Mass Effect 3. And he had fucked up the game so much by killing off characters and shit that he didn't even get a choice at the end of Mass Effect 3. He only had one option, and that was to destroy everything. Like, that was the only option. He didn't even get the option to save. He only got the option to destroy everything. Like, that's pretty broken. When the
Yeah.
whole point, like, the Mass Effect 3 controversy was the ending and the fact that it was only, a couple choices after this, mammoth journey you'd been on. But no, he didn't even get that. He just had one choice. He could only
I don't-
destroy everything.
I don't think anybody will ever be as dedicated to get something like we are than the guy that got his neutral Pandaren all the way to 90 without choosing a faction.
I just saw that.
The guy has over 170 days played, and he did it by just picking herbs and mining
Crazy.
and resetting the skills and doing it over again.
That guy's
And
real
he-
dumb.
Yeah,
He said
So now he has
he
a-
said he's going to 100 as soon as the new expansion drops.
yeah.
too.
If it'll let him, yeah.
Brandon, that is hilarious.
Sometimes there are things that are unique to someone for a reason, and that is one of them.
Yeah.
Like why?
Yep.
I don't know why you would ever want to be the guy that did that, but
Absolute
hey,
commitment.
more power to you, man.
I mean, I think games like Just Cause 2 multiplayer and games like DayZ, I think is a big one, are really like not taking that uniqueness away, but it's making unique experiences and weird happenings completely commonplace. Like,
That's the awesome thing though, is they're capitalizing on the fact that you have so much more attachment to a game when you have one of those experiences, and like if you're able to create those because the game is primarily driven by just what you're doing and who you're interacting with, like that's awesome. That's why those games have done so well.
I hope GTA Online creates some of those.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's all I'm
definitely.
saying.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I hope it's not broken.
Yep.
I trust them. I think
I do too,
ever since they
actually.
had the GTA 4 fiasco and they did so well with Max Payne 3 and optimizing that, like there's no reason they have definitely boosted their reputation with Max Payne 3. So there's no reason to think that it's going to be shit.
Dalesy, that is crazy. I was playing with AJ for one classic competitive match. He accumulated more kills than deaths. That's a unique situation for sure. But yeah, I think games like that, like in DayZ, when you see the videos of people like
Yeah.
getting accosted by cult cult like dudes
Yeah,
with
like,
no
is it-
pants and clown masks on.
Is
like,
it PC Gamer that has the guy who writes a lot of articles about his experiences in DayZ and other games like Rust and whatnot?
Yeah.
Things like that where everything is created by your interaction, so you can always have something unique to you that happens.
Yeah, like the DayZ Doctor, and that was back before Standalone, but the DayZ Doctor was incredible because he was like this dude who was known to just carry all the medical supplies on him, and like he would randomly be on servers, but there was a whole like Reddit/forum system of people that would like pay him to like heal them if they were, poisoned or bleeding. Like you could bring people to him. He would only disclose his location on like, to certain people. It was incredible, and like nobody would kill him because like some people were so dependent on him. Like shit like that. I mean, games like that will start to make the crazy stuff become commonplace.
I want to start playing DayZ. I just have no idea what I'm doing, and I need people to play with.
Same with me, man. We should play together and have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, there we go.
Hedgie94, last question. What was your first major purchase when you moved away from home besides computer hardware? I don't know if you
I think
mean
it's probably furniture for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, because
furniture.
when I moved out, I had to buy everything from scratch, so it cost me like between $2,000 and $3,000, to get a bed and get cookware and get glasses and plates and everything that's essential to live in an apartment.
shit
I had
that
to
you
spend a
actually
shit ton of
don't
money
think
on.
about when you're living with your parents, like dishes,
Yeah.
huh? All right.
Well,
Well,
an
not
egg
even necessarily
beater.
not even necessarily living with your parents, but like if you're living in a dorm or something at college, and you don't necessarily have to have, like a whole bunch of, you don't have to have like a frying pan necessarily, right? You might just have, like some basic cooking stuff, but it's always boring stuff like a bed frame, like a TV stand, like stuff that actually, like things to sit on, things to, things that allow you to live there.
yeah.
Like a
We were at-
G1C4 my porn collection.
Oh my god. We were actually really lucky. We didn't have to buy much when we moved into an apartment, because it was me and my wife together. Well, we weren't married then, but and I think our first major one was a car, which we financed like basically the entire thing. It said, "Don't do that, kids. You're gonna pay a lot of money. Just buy a beater and then save up, pay cash for it." But I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm still paying car payments for a while.
Our payments
fun.
suck, and when you're done, they're so nice not to
Let me
have
put it
them.
this way: I bought a house 5 years ago. I just bought a real bed for the first time, like last month. Like, I'd been using like an old shitty bed. Like
Beds are expensive, man.
beds are
Yeah, that's-
ridiculous. It's dumb.
that
it's
was
a
like-
frame
that
to
was
hold
the
your
one
bed.
thing-
It's fucking.
That was
We
the
know
one
the
thing I was
activities
willing-
that Dan's doing are damaging that bed even further, so he needs a top of the line bed.
Yeah,
To
when
be
I
honest,
moved
the,
in,
midget
do-
ruined
the
the
dogs
bed,
own the
but
bed
damn.
now.
The best bed.
Bastards. Yeah, that's about. I mean, car I think would be the biggest for most people. If you have to get a car.
Yeah, my car, I actually put $3,000 down on it, and then I'm still making payments. So that was probably the biggest single hand purchase that I made when I was moving out on my own.
Yeah, buying a house doesn't count in this, I would assume. So
Yeah.
buying a house though, it's a pretty big investment.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
all
it
right,
is.
guys, that is it for this week's podcast. Shout out to the Marks for coming out to
Yeah.
the cast tonight.
It's-
On short notice. Even though I knew APL and Nick wouldn't be here for like days. And then I fell asleep, so shout outs to me for making it.
Pray for Scott's health.
Pray for Scott, yeah. I haven't seen anything from Scott on like Twitter. I've seen stuff from Nick. Nothing from Scott.
Nick's having a great time. Scott, maybe is, maybe no longer with us.
We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. 10 p.m. Eastern here on this channel. Make sure you check kbmod.com/schedule for our up-to-date streaming schedule. We update it on the fly all the time, adding streams, community streamers, all kinds of stuff now. So follow us at KBMOD Gaming on Twitter and Facebook.com/KBMOD. If you like the Zuck, if you're into the Zuck over there on Facebook. I don't even have an account in there, so I don't even.
I haven't been on mine in months.
I
It
made
just
I
sits
made a
there.
dummy account just to post for KBMod.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, all right, we'll see you guys next week. Later
Later.
on.
See ya.